What is going on, guys? Welcome to Outside the Brand. This is your AEW Dynamite what the hell? AEW Dynamite post show for April 5th, 2023. I'm your host, Phil, and of course, this is Outside the Brand. Thank you so much for joining me right here on your Wednesday nights, wherever you may be. Oh my god. What an episode of AEW Dynamite tonight, guys. This was just absolutely insane, and I absolutely loved everything about AEW Dynamite tonight. What AEW Dynamite did tonight was just incredible stuff. From the in-ring action to the actual announcement that Tony Khan had tonight. Everything about the show was great. We saw some really great action. The Tony Khan announcement lived up to the hype that it had. And it was just a very noteworthy show. Now, we are going to go over everything that happened on AEW Dynamite tonight. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me right here on OTB. If you guys like what you hear so far, make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and we couldn't have done this without you guys. So thank you so much for being here with us, and we will be getting right into the thick of things here when it comes to the AEW Dynamite post show. But before we do, I do have a little bit of some spring cleaning that I need to do. Follow me on social media. All the TikTok links that everybody should be following are down in the description below. You guys can follow me on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at PhillyMatt_. And yeah, guys, we are going to continue to do what we do best here on OTB, and that is just give you guys the best content that we possibly can be. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We have a sponsor for today's video that I have to thank, and that is SeatGeek. SeatGeek is an official sponsor here on OTB, and we love having them here. SeatGeek is an application you can get on your phone, and you guys can go get tickets on SeatGeek by using the promo code that we have at checkout, OTB, for $20 off. You know you're going to get the best deal possible when you're using SeatGeek based on their seating charts and based on their scale for when it comes to being a great price. Green means it's good, red means it's bad. You obviously want to go for the green because that is the best deal for that seat. And yeah, if you go to the checkout and use code OTB, you guys can get $20 off your first purchase when you use SeatGeek. And that's an absolutely incredible deal. So thank you, SeatGeek, for allowing us to be a partner with you guys. Thank you for being a partner with us here on the channel. And we absolutely love having you here. Being a part of the OTB fam, as always. So thank you so much for being here. And yeah, guys. But before I wanna get into everything that happened on AEW Dynamite tonight, but I do want to obviously make the huge announcement that Tony Khan made tonight on AEW Dynamite. And guys, the first ever stadium show in AEW history happens on August 27th, 2023. AEW All In is happening at Wembley Stadium in London, England on August 27th, 2023. And guys, this is something that has been a long time coming. It has definitely been a long time coming. And the fact of the matter is, AEW could have their version of WrestleMania if everything does go the way they plan. Now, let's be clear here. This is AEW's first stadium show ever, right? And we all know Wembley Stadium. We all know how legendary Wembley Stadium is. Wembley Stadium holds 90,000 people. If AEW does what they do, and they continue to build the storylines, if they continue to have an amazing roster and they get the people that should be on that show, AEW is looking to have one of their biggest show. This is going to be their biggest show ever. And like I said, if everything does go the way that it should, AEW could have their version of WrestleMania. Now, I understand AEW has been a little bit rocky lately, but like I said, as long as they continue to do what they do when it comes to building the storylines, getting the right people on that show, there's no way that this could even really be anything bad, anything remotely bad when it comes to the show. You know, I think this is going to be absolutely fantastic for them. I think this is going to be an absolutely great way to just, you know, test the waters over there in London, England. Mainly because of the fact, I mean, if you take a look at the numbers and if you take a look at everything, London and England as a whole, you know, love AEW. AEW is huge over there in England. And it's honestly, if you look at the numbers, it has gotten a lot of attention, more than WWE has at some points in time. And AEW has only really been around for 4 to 5 years. So, with that being said, we all know that this is a huge risk for AEW, but this also could be a huge gain for AEW. This could be, there's a lot of risk, but there's a whole ton of rewards that could benefit, that could be beneficial for the company if things go the way that they should. Now, that's not the only thing that happened tonight on AEW Dynamite, believe it or not. Jay White. We all know Jay White was a huge free agent that was talking with many companies around the United States, trying to figure out where he is going to fit best. Obviously, he left New Japan Pro Wrestling in the Loser Leaves Japan match against Hikuleo. And people were thinking maybe Jay White could go to WWE. Maybe Jay White could find his home within the World Wrestling Entertainment. And, you know, beyond belief, Jay White being a part of WWE would be absolutely monumental, right? Now, obviously, with the news of WWE being sold to Endeavor and Vince McMahon being back in a creative capacity, which we haven't really talked much about here on this channel, but trust me, we will. It looks like Jay White is no longer going to be a part of WWE. It looks like WWE wasn't even really looking at him, which is absolutely insane enough to begin with. Jay White debuted tonight, technically returned, but debuted tonight in AEW, and it looks like Jay White is officially All Elite, and that is just absolutely insane. We all know the Bullet Club has had their issues with Ricky Starks over the last couple of weeks. It's basically Juice Robinson, but since he's a part of the Bullet Club as a whole has gotten a little bit of an attention thing when it comes to Ricky Starks. And, you know, now that Jay White is here in AEW, Bullet Club is basically Bullet Club is in AEW, and it's in AEW strong, you know. So if they were doing this whole thing when it comes to Bullet Club and Ricky Starks, you can't do a Bullet Club angle without Jay White. I mean, it's legitimately, you know, a sin if they don't even involve Jay White in all of this. And they did, obviously. They did, because Jay White is officially All Elite now. And this is just going to be absolutely insane there in and of itself. So, Jay White's All Elite. We have a stadium show for AEW in Wembley. And this is just, I loved every single second of this show, man. Commander and Sammy Guevara had a fantastic match. FTR are here to stay in AEW as they won the AEW World Tag Team Championships tonight against the Guns. This show was just from top to bottom, one of the best shows all year for AEW Dynamite to me. And I cannot wait to discuss it all with you and just go over everything that happened on the show tonight, guys. So, like I said, if you guys like what you hear so far, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to your channel if you are new, and turn on the bell for all notifications. That way you never miss when we go live, as we go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for obviously the post-show reviews for Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and AEW Dynamite. And then we have our special Tuesdays Talk episode, which I did take yesterday off mainly because of the fact of the huge week that we had here on OTB. Over 7 to 8 live streams happened over the past week for WrestleMania week, and it was absolutely insane. I could not thank you guys enough for, just being a part of all of that, because WrestleMania week came and it went, and it was fantastic. It was success for here on the channel especially, but it was success overall when it comes to professional wrestling. And this was just an amazing, experience being a part of another WrestleMania weekend here, or WrestleMania week here on the channel. We started this thing as soon as fans came back to the WWE on that first SmackDown, and we haven't had stopped since. We're over 300 we're over 300 episodes strong, and we're not going to be stopping anytime soon. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and we're not going to be stopping, like I said, anytime soon. So this is it's been an amazing ride. We absolutely love it. We appreciate you for being a part of the journey, and we could not have done this without you, and you know that. So we appreciate that. We appreciate you for just being a part of the ride with us, and it's going to be just an awesome journey from here on out. Now, I do want to read the press release that I want to read the press release for the Wembley Show Stadium that obviously All In's going to be taking place in. If I could find it, I'm going to look at it right now. So, I know they just released it, so I'm gonna take a look. I'll find it. I'll find it eventually. I had to have liked it. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'll find it, and then we will definitely read the press release, because this press release is going to be absolutely awesome to read. There it is, right here. I found it. Let's do this thing. So, AEW's highly anticipated UK debut will take place at the iconic Wembley Stadium on August 27th. That is a Sunday. Tickets for AEW All in London go on sale Friday, May 5th, and May 5th at 9 a.m. BST. Fans can pre-register now for early access to purchase tickets at Ticketmaster, blah, blah, blah. And that's the UK website for that. Hashtag, for AEW Wembley. But this is the full press release, and I'm going to read it to you guys right now. So, let's see this. During tonight's live episode of AEW Dynamite from Long Island, New York, AEW CEO Tony Khan, AEW superstar Adam Cole, and host Nigel McGuinness announced AEW's highly anticipated UK debut will take place in London at the iconic Wembley Stadium on Sunday, August 27th. AEW All in London at Wembley Stadium marks AEW's first show outside of North America and the first time that professional wrestling is taking center stage at Wembley Stadium in over 30 years. Tickets for AEW All in London at Wembley Stadium go on sale to the general public on Monday, May 5th at 9 a.m. BST. Effective immediately, fans in the UK can pre-register for early access to the event tickets at ticketmaster.co.uk/AEW Wembley. Pre-registered access and priority pre-sale will take place prior to the general on-sale date. Beginning May 5th, tickets can be purchased at ticketmaster.co.uk/AEW Wembley. And this is a open quote. The UK is one of the most important markets in professional wrestling, and AEW is coming in hot as the number one pro wrestling company in the UK on television, says Tony Khan. We want our debut in London to be epic in scale, and there's no better venue than Wembley Stadium to deliver what I know will be one of, if not the greatest events in AEW's history. This April will mark 100 years of Warner Bros. And 100 years of Wembley Stadium. It's a fitting time to come together for AEW All in London at Wembley Stadium. This announcement comes on the heels of AEW's tremendous growth in TV viewership in the UK, and AEW programming serving as the highest rating driver for men in the 16 to 34 demographic on ITV4 since the start of 2022. AEW reached 2.8 million men on ITV platforms in 2022 and began 2023, and increasing that reach to another 45% among men ages 16 to 34. Quote, AEW All in London at Wembley Stadium is far from the Khan's family's first foray in London or the legendary venue. Shad Khan is the chairman of Fulham Football Club, which earned promotion to England Premier League for the playoff, with playoff wins at Wembley Stadium in both 2018 and 2020. The elder Khan is also owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have regularly hosted a home game at the stadium since 2013, and will return once again during the 2023 National Football League season for a 9th game at Wembley. AEW All in London at Wembley Stadium, which will be the homecoming for several top stars, including AEW Women's World Champion Jamie Hayter, Saraya, Nigel McGuinness, Pac, Anthony Ogogo, and more, will be produced in conjunction with Live Nation Entertainment. And then they did the whole about AEW, the whole thing there, and then about Live Nation events. So yeah, guys, that is legitimately the entire press release I just read to you guys. And yeah, this is just going to be an absolutely amazing opportunity for AEW, if you guys could not already tell. I'm actually surprised I read that without really, totally jumbling up my words. Thank you guys for your patience as I was reading that to you guys, because that was absolutely something that I definitely should have read, and I'm glad I did. This is just going to be an absolutely amazing opportunity for AEW, and like I said earlier, and thank you to Johnny. I don't know if Johnny's watching this or not, but thank you, Johnny, for making the comparison of if everything does go the way that it should, and if everything does go in the way that, we hope that it could, this could be AEW's version of WrestleMania. And the thing is, guys, AEW's always had that problem, according to the fans at least, that AEW doesn't have that WrestleMania. AEW doesn't have that big show that really stands them apart from all the rest, you know? We have All Out, we have Revolution, we have Double or Nothing, I can't believe I'm freaking into Big Four pay-per-views for AEW. Oh my god. AEW, Jesus Christ. Dude. This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. We at Full Gear. Jesus Christ. Thank you guys. I'm so blown away when it comes to this London show that I'm legitimately just not even I don't even know what the hell to even say. So this is absolutely insane. So we have Double or Nothing, obviously, All Out, Full Gear, and Revolution. Those are the big 4 pay-per-views, along with other big shows like Grand Slam, that I have gone to both of those shows so far in the Grand Slam's history. Obviously, the most recent thing that honestly came around for AEW was obviously AEW's Forbidden Door event with New Japan. That happened this past June in 2022, so that was just absolutely insane in itself. And then obviously, they're continuing to grow these special live events and these pay-per-views that AEW has been providing for us over the last few years. Obviously, Double or Nothing takes place on May 28th. New Japan's show with AEW Forbidden Door takes place on June 25th. And now All In takes place on August 27th. So April, May, June, and then August, those are the next 3 pay-per-views that are going to be happening for AEW. And it's going to be just an amazing time to be a pro wrestling fan for AEW. With the obvious issues with WWE that are going on right now with the Endeavor buyout, and then obviously with the whole Vince McMahon factor, a lot of people are really turned off with WWE right now. And this was Tony Khan's second chance. If Tony Khan wanted people to gravitate towards AEW, Tony Khan had to capitalize on this show and prove to pro wrestling fans that we may have our issues, right? AEW has their issues, but at the end of the day, Tony Khan, whether anybody really wants to believe it or not, he does listen to professional wrestling fans. And that could be to his help, but also to his detriment. It has kind of gotten in the way in the past, but with this London announcement, with this amazing AEW Dynamite tonight, and with fans just being absolutely fed up with the WWE, not product, but after that shit show on Monday, fans could be turning the corner. It's just a matter of time if the fans really want to do that, right? Shout out to Marissa. You guys know Marissa. If you guys don't, go follow her on TikTok. She said it best, honestly, at the end of the day. If we stand together as a pro wrestling community and we, hit them where it hurts, in their pockets, in their wallets, by either canceling our Peacock subscription, if you are down for that. I know Peacock does offer a lot more than just pro wrestling. If you don't go to these events, if you are really wanting a better WWE and you don't want Vince McMahon there, you hit them where it hurts, and that is where they keep their money, and that is in their wallet. So you can do that, but if you want to, and this is completely up to you guys, there are also other professional wrestling outlets out there, like AEW. Now, AEW at the time, like I said earlier, AEW does not have a flawless record. You know, AEW has had some ups and it's definitely had some downs. But at the end of the day, AEW is all about professional wrestling. It's all about professional wrestling. We have great action each and every single week. Storytelling has been iffy over the last couple of months, but it's gotten a lot better. Especially with the build towards Double or Nothing right now. I mean, this is probably the best it's ever been over the last few months. This is just going to be a fantastic way to continue the momentum for AEW, and hopefully when we get to that show at the end of August, it could be one of the best, if not the best show that AEW has ever produced, bar none. Now, if you guys know the history of All In, that's kind of what started AEW. Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, they all came together and put on this show called All In. Dave Meltzer, of course it's Dave Meltzer, but Dave Meltzer said that those four could not sell a 10,000 seat stadium. Cody Rhodes, being Cody Rhodes, said you wanted to take a bet on that, and they did. They took a bet on that, and they sold out that stadium. And I believe less than I think the record was 10 minutes. I think it was like a record of 10 minutes that show was sold out. And if you guys know All In, I mean, you take a look back at that card, and that's basically what started AEW. I mean, this is just insane. The attendance was like around 11,263, a buy rate of 50,000. The biggest independent wrestling show ever took place in Illinois. And man, this was just... It was legitimately the starting... It was the springboard to what became AEW. And that is just an amazing sight to see. Seeing something like that happen on September 1st in 2018. I thought it was 2019. It was 2018, rather. Seeing something like that grow into AEW, which started in 2019, and then continuing on to now, what is 2023. It's so special knowing that if it wasn't for All In, we would not have AEW. And that's really what I think Tony Khan is really trying to bring home when it comes to this show. It obviously didn't happen in London, the first All In. But the fact that All In started, then AEW was what happened after All In came about. That's what's really special about this whole thing. And then bringing it to London, that's even more special, and that's even better in some sense. So this is just great. I know I'm just honestly rambling on about the show right now, and we will get into AEW Dynamite right now, I promise you. But this is going to be absolutely insane, and I cannot wait to see what Tony Khan has planned for AEW All In on August 27th. It's gonna be a freaking dream of mine to go to this show. I want to go to this show. No doubt about it, right? This would just be absolutely awesome. I've never been to an AEW pay-per-view. You guys know I've been to Dynamite. You guys know I've been to Rampages. You guys know I've been to Grand Slams and everything like that. But I've never been to an AEW pay-per-view. And what better pay-per-view than to be at All In London, England, of all places, at Wembley fucking Stadium? I mean, that would be a freaking dream of mine. It's not gonna happen. I highly doubt it's gonna happen. But, man, it would be such a dream to go to Wembley Stadium in London, England. Man, What a time to be a pro wrestling fan, right? I'm rambling on at this point. Let's just do the show. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really do appreciate it, guys. I mean, you guys have no idea. If you guys are just here to just listen to me ramble on, that's fantastic. If you guys aren't here to just hear me do that, listen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm rambling on about this entire show, but look at this entire show. This is huge for AEW, right? So obviously it's going to be something big, and I have to talk about it because obviously it happened on the show tonight. So let's really do something about it tonight. So I will I'll figure out that situation if I ever go to if I am able to go, I'll let you guys know, but I guarantee you it's not going to happen. If anything, you guys will be seeing a review for All In on August 27th when that happens. So damn. I don't know, man. This is just going to be absolutely insane. Thank you, guys. We're going to get right into the AEW Dynamite post show right here on OTB. So, we start off with Power obviously kicking in, and then we have Absolute Ricky Starks. And he's making his way to the ring for tonight's opening contest with Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson is already in the ring, but as Starks makes his way down to the ramp, the Bullet Club's music hits, and it's revealed that Jay White is running down the ramp and blindsiding Ricky Starks. Ricky tries to fight back, but obviously is overwhelmed by the 2-on-1 attack of Juice Robinson and Jay White, and it was just a 2-on-1 assault at that point. He hits a Blade Runner, does Jay White, to make a statement, and he and Robinson give each other the Bullet Club salute before taunting the crowd from the turnbuckles. And Jay White is officially All Elite. So there you go. I mean, that's just fantastic in itself. And, Jay White is just an incredible talent. I'm glad AEW were able to get him. Obviously, he was in talks with a lot of professional wrestling companies. Apparently not WWE, because like I said earlier, WWE just wasn't even looking at him, which is absurd. But Jay White in AEW, it makes sense. It fits. He's been in AEW before, but he just wasn't signed. But now he is officially signed with the AEW, which is fantastic. So, I love that. So, we're backstage, and Shivani is with Jericho, who talks about Daniel Garcia being punked out by Adam Cole. An act of disrespect that Chris won't stand for. This grabs the attention of Keith Lee, who calls Jericho out for this before challenging him to a match next week to, quote, teach him about respect. Jericho then stares at the Limitless One before walking off. So, we can see Jericho versus Keith Lee next week. I think that is actually confirmed to be happening next week, so we'll see how that goes. Keith Lee has not been on AEW programming in quite some time. Obviously, he's changed a little bit with the color of his facial hair and hair, honestly. But Keith Lee versus Chris Jericho on AEW Dynamite should be pretty okay. And, it's a Chris Jericho match on AEW. But Keith Lee is Keith Lee. So I'm going to be very interested and willing to give this thing a chance. So let's see where it goes. Let's see what happens. So, we're back at ringside, and the House of Black are there. They make their way to the ring for the first out of 4 championship matches that happen tonight on Dynamite. This is for the AEW World Trios Championships, obviously. And we had the World Trios Championship on the line against Orange Cassidy and Best Friends. Very good match. Very good trios match. You know how great the AEW World Trios Champions House of Black are, and obviously Best Friends and Orange Cassidy are fantastic in their own right. So this was never really going to be bad. So we see backstage, we see Anna Jay keeping her eye on Julia Hart as the tag was made to Trent, who gets knocked down by Brody King after he's made the tag himself. Brody then goes forward Chuck, but gets pushed into an orange punch and then a pile driver, but Trent only gets a near fall from that. Buddy Matthews then tags in, and things spill to the outside, and Chuck then goes for a roll for a near fall, but gets dropped hard by Buddy Matthews, who picks up the pin for the win, and they retain their AEW World Trios Championships. It was a fun match. It was pretty chaotic near the end, but obviously that's usually what trios matches are honestly kind of all about, and it was just great action for really the first contest of the show tonight. Really the first contest was obviously the Jay White situation with Bullet Club and Juice Robinson with Ricky Starks, but that was a no contest. So a full bell-to-bell match. This was the first match on the show, and this was a fantastic way to start off, So, so we saw a video package of Christian Cage. He is back, but he was not coming alone because Luchasaurus is back with him, and I am super excited for that. I know Luchasaurus has been gone off of AEW for a little while now, but now that Luchasaurus is back with Christian Cage, only good things can come from that, so I cannot wait to see what happens from there. Let's figure out what happens, I absolutely love it. So, Christian Cage being back with Luchasaurus, you're not going to complain out of me. You're not going to get a complaint out of me. So we're back at ringside, and it's time for the AEW World Women's Championship match. Riho makes her way down to the ring, followed by the champion, Jamie Hayter, and the match gets underway. So this was a really good match as well. I really do think that this was fantastic. Hard-hitting matches always happen when Jamie Hayter is in the ring. Riho, as much as we really don't get to see her all that often, she has really improved. She's always been great, Riho's always been great. It's just a matter of TV time. TV time's really hard for the ladies in AEW, and I don't understand why, because the ladies in AEW are fantastic. But for some reason, it's just very hard to come by when it comes to TV time and women for AEW. But this is a really good, hard-hitting matchup here for the AEW Women's World Championship. This is the caliber of matchups I want to see for the women. If we got more stuff like this for the women in AEW, I really don't think anybody would really have an issue when it comes to the women here in this company. The women's division in this company, in AEW as a whole, is fantastic. But they just don't get enough TV time in order to show it. But this match right here, you give them enough time to cook, you're going to get amazing results. It's just that, it's that simple, really. But Hayter, we all need Hayter in our lives. Seriously, we all need more Hayter in our lives. Give me some Haterade, because this is just, she is hard-hitting. She is exactly what women should strive for when it comes to professional wrestling. And what I mean by that is, she's not cookie cutter. She's not cookie cutter at all. She is intense. She knows what she is bringing to the table every time she steps in that ring. The crowd is massively over with her. Well, she's massively over with the crowd, I should say. And it's just the body of work that she possesses. It's unlike really anybody else in the world of professional wrestling. She does not give a single shit. If you hit her hard, she's going to hit her harder. She's going to hit you harder. And if she hits you hard, she wants you to hit her harder. She is definitely another breed when it comes to women in professional wrestling. And I love seeing it, man. I love seeing women in professional wrestling just be badasses. Just absolutely be badasses. I don't like the women that, in professional wrestling, I should say, that break a nail and they just wrestle like they don't care for it, you know? Have some grittiness to it. Make something happen. Like, you just go for it. Just, I don't know if any of you guys get that, but she's just a totally different breed, and it just makes the matches and it makes the actual show that much better. So it's fantastic. Hayter sets Riho onto the top rope for a superplex, looking to follow it up with the brainbuster, but Riho then reverses it into a DDT. Riho then tries to follow up on this, but the champ is obviously taking the fight back to her before sending her back into the top rope. Riho then fights back up here, but takes an elbow to the head by the champ, only to take Hayter down with a Hurricane Rana from the top rope. Excuse me. She follows that up with a big drop kick on the champ, but only got a near fall from that. Hayter then gets up to her feet using the ropes for support as Riho then hits several shots to the back of the head. Then exchange holds until the champ hits a Haterade, but Riho somehow kicked out. You know, the champ then gets frustrated, but she goes for it again, this time using the ripcord version of the Haterade, and that is it. And that's how she retained the AEW Women's World Championship. Hayter shows some respect to Riho before celebrating with Britt Baker, who is obviously at ringside with her, with the championship, and they go backstage. Renee is standing by with the Outcast, who congratulate Hayter on her retention of the championship, but the Outcasts are here to take back control and basically win the AEW Women's World Championship. Renee asks which one of them looks to win the championship, but they say what matters is that Jamie Hayter is not the AEW Women's World Champion when it's all said and done. The only person that honestly makes sense is Saraya. You know, I love Toni Storm, don't get me wrong, you know, but I'm looking towards the show. I'm looking towards AEW All In out in London, you know. It's got to be Jamie Hayter and it's got to be Saraya for the AEW Women's World Championship at that show. It's the one that makes sense. It's the one that makes sense the most, honestly, out of all of that. And it's just the marquee match that you're gonna go for. It is Saraya. It is Jamie Hayter. It makes all the sense in the world. You make it for the AEW Women's World Championship, and you make it happen. That's the best way to go about this here. You have her go through whoever she has to go through at Forbidden Door. You have her go through whoever she has to go through at Double or Nothing, and you set the title match up, Saraya versus Jamie Hayter at All In. And honestly, you have Jamie Hayter retain. There's no reason why Saraya should be winning the AEW Women's World Championship. To me, I don't think so. I mean, that's not what this is about here. This is the first AEW show in London, England. This is the first show outside of the United States. What better way than to make a huge statement for women's professional wrestling over there in the UK than to have those two amazing women in the main event? If you want it to be the main event, that would be awesome, but I don't think it would be. I would put this in the co-main event, if anything, but if you want to make a huge impression for the fans over there in the UK and for professional wrestling over there in the UK, Saraya versus Jamie Hayter is the perfect marquee match for the Women's World Championship at the end of August. So let me know what you guys think. I really do want to hear what you guys think about that, because I think that would be a great way to just showcase those two women and to showcase what women's wrestling is all about, especially when it comes to the UK scene. That right there is what really makes that all much more special, and honestly, it just fits. It just fits to have it that way. So yeah, I would definitely put Jamie Hayter up against Saraya at AEW All In London, England at Wembley Stadium. It just makes sense, and it's honestly the best course of action. So, we then... I just lost everything. There we go. We are back at ringside. And we hear from the JAS and the Acclaimed. So, obviously, Cool Hand and Daddy Magic. What the hell is this? So, back at ringside, we hear from JAS and the Acclaimed, the latter of whom let Cool Hand and Daddy Magic know via rap they are not interested in joining the Jericho Appreciation Society. Okay, no. Now I understand what that was trying to say. Cool Hand seemed obviously to misunderstand this, however, saying that they've got a match on Rampage and asked Daddy Magic to scissor him, which was stopped by obviously Daddy S, who, alongside Bowens, show how it's really done. Short but sweet. It was just a short and sweet segment. There wasn't really anything to this. It's just a tag team match between the Acclaimed and Cool Hand Luke and Cool Hand and Daddy Magic. It's legitimately just a tag team match setting up for Rampage. I legitimately don't care, but somebody might. So we come back from commercial break, and we obviously see a recap of Jay White being here in AEW, reuniting with Juice Robinson. And then we saw MJF Day in Long Island, and it's happening right now. So we're back at ringside, and we are introduced to Mike Rogers and his great band for some musical entertainment before MJF makes his way to the ring to celebrate MJF Day. They were actually fantastic. MJF Day starts, and he introduces himself to the big crowd. Huge pop in Long Island, of course. Before talking about how great Long Island is, he talks about how when it rains in Long Island, it rains pennies from heaven. This leads to a little... this leads to him singing, honestly. And he shows off his musical talents, and honestly, he's not even that bad. He really isn't. honestly that bad. It really shocked me, honestly, to see how well he really did here. When the song was over, Joseph Saladino is introduced to a big chorus of boos, which MJF tries to shut down as Joseph gives MJF his props and the key to Long Island. Joe then talks about how the key that they gave him before was too small and made a much bigger one just for MJF. MJF thanks him for this before talking down about fellow pillars of AEW. Then he goes into a story about his life, talking about his struggle with ADD and an unsymptomatic teacher, an unsympathetic teacher in 8th grade, claiming she would laugh at him for not knowing an answer to a question on the board. On the last day, the teacher took him aside and asked where his mind went any time when she wanted him to answer a question, and he said professional wrestling. He jumped to being a pro wrestler, and the teacher claimed the odds of that dream even happening are very low, before pointing out that her math was way off because he stands here with the key to the city in the AEW World Championship. If you're a Long Island kid and struggling, people are saying that you can't accomplish your dreams, know that you can do whatever you want, except MJF, because he is better than you, and you know it. As the crowd obviously just cheered, because we're in Long Island, it's in his hometown, obviously he's going to get cheered in Long Island. MJF then takes the mic and goes up the ramp, asking if they want to hear an encore. He repeats the question before getting spooked by, with a simple shot. He turned his back on the man, and basically yelled at him. But the man was actually turned out to be Jungle Boy, one of the pillars of AEW. So, Jungle Boy blindsides the champ and goes after him until security rushes out to break them up. Sammy Guevara then comes out, who is another pillar of the company, staring both down, but mostly the AEW World Champion. He picked up the AEW World Championship and held it, and then obviously MJF got a little bit upset about this because obviously it's his title. And then we honestly just started the whole thing with Sammy Guevara and Commander, which was the next match. So all this happens, right? Commander, Sammy Guevara, fantastic fucking match. Commander is legitimately just insane. Sammy Guevara is obviously fantastic. There's nothing about these two that really just could... I can't put in the words how fantastic they did tonight. If you have not seen Commander, go check him out. Obviously, we all know Sammy Guevara. Whether you like him or whether you hate him, it does not matter. He is a fantastic professional wrestler in that ring, bar none. So, Sammy, he looks for a GTH, but it gets reversed, giving Commander another near fall. Sammy set Commander up in the corner, but takes a kick to the face for his troubles as we see Darby, another pillar, watching from the rafters. Commander walks the ropes, but takes a cutter off the to the canvas, and Sammy followed it up with a GTH for the pinfall victory. So Sammy won. It was shorter than I expected, but it was a good match. And honestly, Sammy Guevara versus Commander, if they did this again, I would definitely love to see it. The back and forth between those two were just fantastic to see, especially with those two being high flyers like they are. It was an amazing showcase for both of them. And Sammy Guevara, whether you like him or whether you hate him, he's definitely going to be a future world champion in this company. You can just see it. You can definitely see it. So, Tony Schiavone joins Sammy in the ring for an interview, but Sammy takes the microphone and just honestly goes off on MJF. He's talking down on MJF, not wrestling before, talking about MJF's pillar of AEW wasn't even being built on his own, having had to cheat to win his match against Sammy back in 2021. Sammy talks about all of these times MJF sold his soul, betraying those he claimed to be friends. Sammy, on the other hand, built everything himself, brick by brick, and telling the booing fans that he's not going anywhere. If you know, you know. With everything he's got from being in AEW, he's not going to let someone use a title as part of a bidding war. Screw the other pillars, because Sammy Guevara is the AEW World Champion. He could be AEW World Champion, but he's not World Champion right now. It was just a very good promo by Sammy Guevara. He's a heat magnet. He knows what the fuck he is doing in the ring when it comes to being on the microphone, because he is just that damn good. He was going after MJF and everything that he has been going through since really being a part of AEW. He does not give a single shit about the other pillars. He gives a shit about himself, and that's really just what it all came down to. He wants the AEW World Championship. Who doesn't? But when you have a heat magnet like Sammy Guevara, who legitimately can just stand there and just get booed out of the building, you gotta do something like this. You gotta give some kind of a tweener promo like this. You know he's gonna get booed in Long Island, because obviously when you're going after MJF, who is a hometown hero in Long Island, you're gonna get booed. But with the words that he was speaking tonight, and I'm talking about Sammy here, Sammy was definitely doing some tweener stuff. Obviously, he was saying some stuff when it comes to being a babyface. That's normal. But then all of a sudden, you sprinkle in like the little sprinkle in the little heel stuff that he always does, just because he's an absolute prick, and we all love him for that. That's what makes Sammy Guevara so good. So, continue doing what he is doing, and who knows what can happen with him in the future, you know? We then have the FTW Championship on the line as Hook defended against Ethan Page of The Firm. Pretty short match. I mean, it's a Hook match. I don't really expect anything more now from this. Isaiah on the apron. Isaiah Cassidy, I should say, on the apron, distracts the referee as Page grabs the FTW Championship by Matt Hardy, fights with him over it before hitting him in the head with it. Page then falls right into the red rum by the champ, obviously Hook, and he was knocked out cold. The referee calls for the bell, and this one's over. Like, the match is completely over. Hook retained the FTW World Championship here. It is what it is. Hook takes the title and bump fists with Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy. So, we don't know what that means. Is Hook with Isaiah and Matt Hardy? Who knows? We go backstage where we see the newest member of the AEW broadcast team, Nigel McGuinness. He is standing by with Tony Khan for the big announcement that he has. 5 years after All In helped build the foundation of AEW, AEW All In takes place in London, England. Adam Cole was brought in to finish the announcement, and All In comes to you at Wembley Stadium on August 27th, like I mentioned earlier on in the broadcast. This was fantastic. I knew I had to have done something with the show in London, but nobody expected anything like this. Nobody expected it to be happening in Wembley Stadium of all places. But this is fantastic. We talked about it for like a good half hour before we even started the review. So if you guys want to check that out, if you guys are, just joining in and you want to hear more about AEW All In at Wembley Stadium, go check it out. It's like the first 30 minutes of the entire show. So check it out. It's honestly well worth a listen, so this was fantastic, and I can't wait to see what happens. Great stuff here. We then see the Blackpool Combat Club, and we don't even know who their opponents were, honestly. That's why I don't even really have it in the description here. What was really gonna happen was they were supposed to talk. And they did talk after the match, but they just had a random match, and it was completely, just a squash. So we didn't get the names of the opponents, honestly. We could not get the names of the opponents. So, obviously it was very short. BCC was just dominant, and they won the match. Bryan Danielson, he takes the mic after the match, and he's talking about the state of AEW and calling a lot of the people that are in AEW amateurs, including the men BCC just fought tonight. This draws out Hangman Adam Page, who is then getting beat up by the Blackpool Combat Club, allowing Bryan to call him an amateur before going after his eye with a screwdriver. Insane. Bryan then repeats his point, saying that everybody's an amateur, saying that only professional wrestlers should be here in AEW, and they are the only professional wrestlers around before they go to commercial break. So, all in all, this version of the Blackpool Combat Club, fucking perfect. Don't change a single thing about these guys. This is how the Blackpool Combat Club should have always been, portrayed as. Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Jon Moxley, and Bryan Danielson, they're all fucking badasses. Let them be them. Let them be the badasses that they are. Let them be, honestly, the next version of the fucking Shield. If anybody knows how the Shield should have operated, it's fucking Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley was in one of the greatest stables in the modern history of the Shield in WWE. And WWE, and we all know when watching WWE during that time, the Shield ran roughshod over every single person in WWE at that time. When we saw the Blackpool Combat Club coming through the crowd, when they surrounded the ring with the pack of dogs mentality, brother, like freaking Michael Cole said during the Shield times, it legitimately brought me back to when the Shield was around in WWE. This is exactly what the Blackpool Combat Club should be. I loved when William Regal was with the Blackpool Combat Club, don't get me wrong, but there's something about this version of the AEW stable of the Blackpool Combat Club that just makes it work even that much better. Having them be just complete badasses, having them be like that Shield 2.0 type dynamic, it just works. It makes it all the much more special, and honestly, they all fit that role. All of them. fit that role. They're all badasses. They're all great professional wrestlers. And you know what you're going to get each and every single time they're all in the ring. So, this is fantastic. Continue keeping them in the way that they are right now. There's no flaws in this. There's how could you hate something like this, you know? Back at ringside after a commercial break, and we see FTR make their way to the ring for the main event. And following them were the Guns, who are the champions. But they entered to 50 Cent. And this was just great. However much money Tony Khan had to pay for a 50 Cent song for the Guns, it's easily one of the top 10 most awesome theme songs of all time, honestly. And the fact that the Guns came out with it, that makes it even much more special. Now, this is titles versus AEW careers, so if FTR won, they obviously win the AEW World Tag Team Championships. But if the champions, the Guns, retained, FTR would be no longer in AEW. They would have to quit AEW. It's not AEW versus... It's not titles versus careers. It's titles versus AEW careers. So, this was fantastic. It was a little bit of an anticlimactic finish, but honestly, at the end of the day, FTR won the AEW Tag Team Championships tonight. They are staying in AEW, and that was just obviously the right choice. And, you know, we love FTR here on OTB. Everybody loves FTR. Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, they are just incredible. They are incredible in-ring talents, probably inside and outside the ring. They're incredible. And there was no way that the Guns were going to retain here. I had it in the back of my head that this was going to be an unpredictable matchup, mainly because of the fact we didn't know what the contract status or basically what the future held for FTR. But as we got closer to this show tonight, I was thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, the Guns are losing this title. The Guns are losing those championships. And it's something against the Guns. The Guns, for what they had those championships for, were pretty solid. You know, but nobody... I actually wanted to see what they could do with the championships. I actually like the Guns. I think the Guns have honestly been really impressive over the last couple of months. And when they got the tag team titles from the Acclaimed, I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. Let's see how they run with this. Obviously, just people hated it right off the bat, and you know, that's just what pro wrestling fans do at the time. But I was willing to give them a chance, and I did give them a chance, and I was really looking forward to seeing what they could do. But as I got closer to tonight, man, FTR were just going to win this thing. FTR were going to stay in AEW, and they were going to win the tag team championships. This was good. Very good, honestly. But FTR are going to be your new AEW tag team champions. And they're a 2-time tag team champion in AEW. So we got a 310 to Yuma, connected onto Cash by the Guns. They roll him out of the ring as Austin turns his attention back to Dax in the corner. Dax then starts fighting back, knocking Austin off the ropes as Colton slides in a championship. Ref catches it and gives it to Justin Roberts, but Colton slides in the other half of the tag team championships, and Austin uses it on Dax. Cover, but it's only a 2 count for Dax as he kicks out. Colton then gets in the ring as the champ stare down Dax, only for Cash. He is set up on the top rope. Cash then hits a sunset flip onto Colton, and Dax rolls up Austin, and it is a double pin, and the count referees to 3. The ref counts to 3, I should say, and they are the new AEW World Tag Team Champions. So it wasn't as easy as that. There were definitely some other leniencies in this matchup here. The Guns were trying to get disqualified. They tried to get disqualified twice. I didn't even see what the first one was. Okay, so yes. So what happened was the first time they tried to get disqualified, Colton pulled the referee out of the ring. And they thought that was constitution of a disqualification. That way, FTR would leave AEW, but they would retain their tag team championships. Then, during the course of the match, at one point, clear as day, a low blow to Dax Harwood. And people, and they were saying, ring the bell. Ring the bell because I hit him low and that is a disqualification. So he was about to do it, but Cash stopped the referee's hand. He's like, don't do it. And then he's like, fine, I won't do it. And I understand the ref's leniency. I do. But at some points, when it's blatantly obvious as that, you would think you have to fucking do it, right? But obviously they weren't going to do it. I mean, it's title versus career in AEW. But the leniency, I understand leniency, especially when it comes to matches like this, but holy shit. Some of it was just way over the top for me a little bit, but it is what it is. They win the tag team championships, FTR does. They are tag team champions once again in just the world of professional wrestling. Remember when they held like 3 sets of tag team titles? I don't think that's what's going to happen here again, because that's what made them take a little bit of a hiatus the first time. But they're the tag team champions now in AEW. It's easy to see what they're possibly going to go for here at All In at the end of August. It's most likely going to be FTR versus the Young Bucks at All In. Who knows? There's a rumored main event going around right now saying that it could be Kenny Omega versus CM Punk at All In. Who knows if that's even going to be a thing, because Tony Khan has been talking to CM Punk, but we don't know their relationship or don't know the trajectory of what conversation that was, honestly. So who knows what's going on with that. But I could possibly see a match between FTR and the Young Bucks happen at All In. But at that point in time, who knows what can happen. So we'll see where things go from there. But guys, that is everything that happened on AEW Dynamite tonight. Mark Briscoe came out to celebrate with the new champions. And their celebration was slightly cut short due to time, but nonetheless, FTR end the show and get the crowd going home happy when they won the AEW World Tag Team Championships. So, very, very good episode of Dynamite tonight. A very noteworthy and newsworthy episode of AEW Dynamite. Everything was fantastic tonight, from the in-ring action to obviously the huge announcement that AEW is going to Wembley Stadium in London, England for AEW All In. This is just an amazing thing to see for AEW. I really do hope that everything goes well. Like, dude, if everything does go well, this is AEW's version of WrestleMania. And I cannot wait to see what happens with this. I don't know if AEW All In is just going to be a London exclusive now, because I feel like All Out is usually just like a Chicago exclusive at this point. I see people in Chicago are saying, like, listen, All In belongs in Chicago. Tony Khan, you're a freaking hypocrite. Chicago gets fucking everything, you know, so let others get a fucking chance. AEW still has not come to Connecticut for a pay-per-view yet, and honestly, I'm kind of pissed off at that, but AEW needs to come to Connecticut more often anyways, so we'll see where things go from there. But honestly, I cannot wait for All In. I cannot wait for the next few months of AEW. AEW is just... I feel like AEW is back. You know, AEW the last few months have not really been feeling themselves over the last couple of months. I've not really been feeling AEW as of late, but over the course of the build for Double or Nothing and everything that's going on right now with Forbidden Door around the corner, Double or Nothing, and now obviously this London show, it's great to be an AEW fan. It is great to be an AEW fan, and I cannot wait to see what happens now and going on into the future. I can't wait. So, thank you guys so much for being here, right here on OTB. I appreciate you for being here. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for all notifications. Thank you, SeatGeek, for being a sponsor here on the channel. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll talk to you guys on Friday for the Friday Night SmackDown post show right here on OTB. I'll talk to you guys soon, guys. Have a good rest of the night. Stay safe. God bless. And peace.